Twitch is worse than you thought. I don't know if it's really that bad. We're gonna find out. We about to find out.
Twitch is taking over the world, gaining more than triple Reddit's monthly user base and generating over $1.5 billion a year.
Aren't views on Twitch down by like 20%? Twitch has been going downhill. I think the main reason is because of the ads.
With Twitch making the world ever more like The Truman Show, where we watch, comment, and become attached to the lives of strangers around the world, spawning a whole new era of parasocial relationships, simping, sporting, and loneliness. With all of this being for the profit of Mr. Bezos. But Twitch isn't like other social media sites, because unlike other big tech startups, Twitch wasn't created by some yuppie entrepreneurs or corporate enterprise. Instead, Twitch started as an artistic experiment by a 23-year-old called Justin Kan, who is considered to be an artist following in the footsteps of Andy Warhol. Quite a contrast to the corporate Twitch we see today.
Yeah, finally.
So how did Twitch go from a 23-year-old's artistic experiment to becoming one of the world's biggest websites, making billions in revenue, creating global news events, simping, and shaping our entire society and culture in just the span of a few years? It all began in 2007 when Justin Kan would release his Justin TV project. Justin TV was an experimental live streaming
I always wonder why it was called Justin. It's because it's his name. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you know, you put 2 and 2 together there, you have 2 2s.
Project, broadcasted on the newly founded website of the same name, where Justin would stream his daily life and all the things he did, pioneering a completely new mode of entertainment, where Justin would attach a camera to his hat and broadcast live 24/7. This literally included sleeping, shopping, all the mundanities of life, although bathroom breaks were omitted. You see, Justin even publicized his phone number with viewers calling into the show. However, of course, by doing this, Justin would become—
Bro, like, how— like, isn't it so crazy how much different it is now? Yeah. Like the original CX. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of too. Absolutely. Yeah, he was just like, yeah, it's my phone number. Like, you guys just call into the show. It's fine. It was just such a small thing. Nobody even thought of the consequences.
One of the first victims of swatting, a practice where people call in phony tips to the police, which results in a streamer getting raided. But for Justin, this didn't matter, because Justin TV was becoming a viral hit. People loved how raw and human the experience was.
Yeah.
The live, unedited, almost amateur nature of the show never failed to entertain, as it gave a true window into the life of one man, an experience truly lacking in the world of polished and glossy reality TV shows. And so this innovative website quickly gained huge amounts of publicity, attracting attention from the internet and mainstream media alike.
Oh yeah.
But praise also came from very unlikely places. Justin TV was actually hailed as following on from Andy Warhol's numerous projects depicting the mundane. People saw Justin TV as a work of art, where viewers could find a certain beauty and engagement in the everyday life of Justin. And it was this explosion in popularity that enabled Justin and his friends to expand the website. This meant the site could include lots of different channels and categories, covering a wide variety of content.
Whoa, wait. Social music, gaming, sports, news, entertainment, pets? There was a pet section?
Although gaming content was quickly proven as the popular cornerstone of the site, this new site was basically the beta version of Twitch. Although having said this, it's very unlikely anyone watching at the time, or even Justin and the founders, had any idea of the potential of Justin
I don't
TV.
think anybody
Now, in
did.
2007, Justin TV was remarkable for lots of reasons, because unlike many of its other internet competitors, Justin TV seemed to be undamaged by the 2008 financial crash. It also had insane growth numbers, because just after 3 years
I think that it was the opposite. I think the 2008 financial crisis is what made it successful, because like now people can't go, like, bro, you can't afford to go out and drink. That's like $80. You just sit home and you watch this guy and do whatever the fuck. I think that the worse the economy gets, the better it is for content creation.
being on the internet, Justin TV had become the 250th most visited site globally.
That's
but perhaps
insane.
the greatest part of Justin TV was its core grassroots creative origin. This open-minded artistic philosophy enabled a renaissance in live content, with streamers and viewers alike flooding into the platform. With a made-for-artist by artist paradigm, the site was perfectly poised to become the juggernaut that it is today. And while everything seemed to be going great, there was one major problem. How could Justin Kan and his team make any money from this? For several years, Justin
Here we go.
TV had been running on a loss in order to put as many resources as possible into their growth, which meant, like most Silicon Valley startups, all their monetization relied on venture capitalists. But in the years following the 2008 crash, investors no longer regarded Justin TV's user base as sufficient for funding. Instead, investors were now looking for much more than a large user base. They needed to see that a company could function as a true, proper business. So
And it's also like back then, that was around the same time around where like the advent of like a lot of ads on YouTube started as well. So like now it's like you have to keep up with the times.
And his team would have to prove that Justin TV could become profitable, or they died trying. This situation caused immense dread for Justin and his co-founders. This had never been a problem before, and everything seemed to be going great, with the company raising over $7 million in investments before 2010. But now with their continued growth, their high running costs were now outpacing their income, putting the company into dire straits, and investors were ready to pull out. And so in response to this challenge, Justin and his team laid out a solid goal for the company. They would need to clear $1 million in revenue per month. This number would be enough to cover their costs and attract the eyes of investors.
That's
Justin
a lot.
was so desperate that he promised the company a holiday to Hawaii if they could achieve this goal.
That's
but
a
this
lot.
wasn't an easy goal. Almost no websites were creating $1 million in revenue per month. This was a staggering challenge. How could Justin and his team achieve this? Well, the fastest and easiest option were ads. And so Justin TV began to be spammed with ads. To the literal point that there were even adverts on their 404 page. However, at the time, this was the only way they could keep their investments. Without this, the company would be bankrupt. And unfortunately for Jason and his team, the problems wouldn't stop there. You see, Justin TV's origins were created...
that's what sucks about these ads, right? Is that nobody likes watching ads, but if you don't have the ads, how the fuck is the content gonna happen? How are you gonna pay for the content? Like, that is only come full circle. You only know. Yeah. And like, that's just what happens. Yeah, it sucks.
And artistic, the business foundations were very weak, which would become very apparent in 2010, the main issue being international viewership. If the countries were outside of North America, Justin TV would lose money. It was clear that Justin TV didn't have a sustainable business model at all. The only solution they could come up with to this problem was to selectively block international viewers on a random basis. However, somehow this approach actually worked, cutting costs but still not harming international growth. And after a lean 6 months of cost cutting...
Bro, wait, what? So like, you telling me some dude in Sweden logging on is playing Russian roulette? That's actually just like such a good idea.
And penny pinching, the company hit $1 million per month in revenue, doubling their revenue figures. They had done the impossible, and so Justin's promised holiday would happen soon after, and the celebrating seemed like it would never end. The Justin TV team would go out to Hawaii, partying endlessly every night. They had reached the golden point, getting drunk, enjoying themselves, making bank, revolutionizing the internet and making their mark on the world. Anything was possible. But while the team would endlessly party, big problems were bubbling under the surface. And little did the team know, the team would now be hit with an even bigger challenge.
DMCA and like copyright shit?
You see, Justin TV had always had a tentative relationship with copyright laws, as at the time it was very hard to police the thousands of streams running on the platform. The company had reached a deal with Fox to implement a primitive form of content ID. However, this was still not enough for some companies. And after all the partying, Justin TV would be sued in 2011 by Zuffer, a promoter for American sports. They alleged that Justin TV had let its streamers broadcast pay-per-view UFC content on the site.
Some things never change. Bro, like, I don't know how many soccer games and UFC fights I've watched on Twitch. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I've seen so many of this shit. Yeah, still with UFC.
However, it became clear that Zuffer was just trying to exploit Justin TV's unsturdy business model. They knew the team were partying and had no experience in lawsuits. But when the case was brought to the court, it became clear how out of proportion the claims were, leading to the lawsuit being mostly dropped. Justin TV still had to settle for an undisclosed amount in regard to copyright infringements, but luckily for the team, they had escaped the bullet that almost killed YouTube. It seemed like all the problems had disappeared, and the company would keep on growing. Justin TV seemed to be unstoppable. It was becoming one of the biggest rivals to YouTube. The gaming section in particular had grown exponentially, far surpassing other categories on the website. And so in response to this, Justin TV would spawn a new subsidiary company, Twitch. In 2011, Twitch would be solely focused on esports and gaming channels. And as expected, the new website was a hit, reaching 3 million unique visitors a month, quickly eclipsing both Justin TV and its founders' expectations. Twitch had inadvertently become Justin's golden egg. But not just for Justin. Twitch was fulfilling the dreams of gaming enthusiasts around the world, with gamers around the world being able to make as much money from their passion as they wanted.
That's one of the crazy fucking things, right? Is like some people were able to just make so much fucking money. It's like if you were going and you were I remember people would get so mad whenever Caseytron would get donations. Like straight up, like I remember this from like 2000 at like Miss Pandaria. They would get so fucking mad.
The only bar for entry seemingly being the creativity and personality of the streamers. These golden years catapulted Twitch forward.
No shot.
Real creativity and personality of the streamers. These golden years
Oh my god. There he is. Holy shit, man.
Catapulted Twitch.
Oh my... Bro, is that Soda... Is that Soda and Wreckful? Holy fuck, no way. Oh my god.
Forward, fully realizing Justin's dream of a place for streamers and entertainers free to perfect their craft, unimpeded by corporate micromanagement and censorship. And this wasn't just Justin's dream, this was the internet's dream. And so a year later, Twitch had gone from 3 million monthly users to 20 million. But even this
yeah, Twitch started popping off. Like, it went wild. Yeah, no, people like back then, because like you gotta understand, you know what people on the internet really want? They want to be able to say whatever the fuck they want to say. They want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And that's it. And anybody who gets in the way of that, anybody who tries to tell them, nope, they say, fuck you, we don't want to do this. Yeah, that's it. They want to be able to do whatever and say whatever the fuck they want to say.
Milestone was later surpassed, with the site growing to an absolutely crazy 55 million by 2014,
Jesus.
making up 1.8% of internet traffic and surpassing Valve, Facebook, and even Amazon. Twitch's rise.
Yeah, back in like 2014, that's whenever I first really kind of started. Like, I started making videos in 2014. That was the year.
Showed how much people valued creative freedom on the internet. However, this insane growth didn't come without its caveats. The Twitch team was still relatively small, and yet the site was becoming impossible to manage. It was clear they had to sell the company. They didn't have a business framework. Ever since Justin TV, the team was always poorly managed, but with all Twitch's growth, it became clear that Justin had completed the game. So the company was ready to be sold, and Google was the first suitors. They approached Twitch with an offer over the $1 billion mark. Justin and his team were over the moon. They'd achieved the Silicon Valley dream. They were the new YouTube, the new Facebook. They would be able to sit back and retire and live a life of luxury. However, just as their dreams were becoming true, Google had to back out at the last minute due to monopoly worries from the ownership of YouTube. Although luckily for Justin and the team, Google wasn't the only one interested. Yahoo and Facebook were also making big offers. With one of the—
Bro, like, how does Yahoo have any money? I feel like the only time anybody ever goes to Yahoo is whenever they open up their grandma's computer and somehow it's the homepage. Like, I don't understand. Like, how the fuck, like, who does Yahoo?
Twitch co-founders being personally called by Mark Zuckerberg, who offered $50 million in just investments, with both Facebook and Yahoo offering over $1 billion for Twitch. However, both of these offers were declined due to differences in visions on the future of the platform. Justin and his co-founders believed in Twitch. They believed in Twitch creating a new free internet.
Bro, this guy turned down $1 billion offer? Bro, like, imagine how big your dick has to be to turn down $1 billion offer. Holy shit!
And so, staying true to their ideals, they rejected offers from both of these companies because they believed that they would destroy the culture they had created. Yahoo, for example, had offered these companies because they believed that they would destroy the culture.
Is that my business partner right there? Oh my god. Wow. Ain't that some shit?
Culture they had created. Yahoo, for example, had offered a sum hundreds of millions ahead of Amazon, but the deal fell through because they didn't see gaming as the primary market for Twitch. Despite the fact that they could have taken this money and lived a very, very lavish lifestyle for the rest of their lives. Instead, the founders' vision for the company was worth much more than that. And so in the end, it was surprisingly Amazon that agreed that they wouldn't change the general makeup of the site. Although if the Twitch team had known what Amazon would do to Twitch in the coming years, they might have also reconsidered this offer, but this will become much clearer later on. In the meantime, Amazon bought Twitch for $970 million in 2014. A small figure by no means, but still—
I remember whenever that happened, I was surprised. Like, I was like, why did Amazon— like, I thought Amazon sells, like, fucking books and shit. Like, oh, what are they buying Twitch for?
Not really what was offered by other companies, but for the founders, this didn't matter. The true hidden reason for Twitch being sold was that the founders had—
Bro, actually, let me go back.
This didn't matter. The true hidden—
Who was it? Fucking King Richard. Ninja. Delore. The keyboard legend. Oh my god. I love seeing the old screenshots, man.
Tired of running the company. They didn't care about setting up better systems of management. They had lost their passion. They were exhausted by their dreams becoming corporatized because the founders only cared about freedom and creativity. They didn't care about the corporate management side of business. In fact, so much so that by the time the deal actually took place, Justin was nowhere to be seen. Instead, he was working on an art project for a music festival far away from the increasingly stressful world of business.
Bro, this guy fucking, oh my god. This guy just straight up fucking turns down $1 billion offer and then just pieces out. He's like, I'm just gonna go do some art shit somewhere else. Dude, he does not give a fuck, man. Turn on 1080p. Is it not on there? Let me see. Quality, 1080p. Here we go.
It was clear that his heart lay in the creative grassroots side of the business. He just wanted to take his money, get out, and start a new life. And so the deal went forward, and Twitch, once an independent hub of creativity, was now just another Bezos puppet. After the acquisition, Justin left the company and began working on funding and running new startups ever since. And true to his creative side, he now runs a small YouTube channel in addition to his business work, with most of the Twitch founders going on to...
That's really cool, man. That guy does whatever the fuck he wants to do. That's awesome. Like, yeah, he does whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Follow their creative passions. In fact, only one of the original Twitch founders, Emma Shear, still works at the company as the...
What does this guy do? Like, what does he do? Like, I feel like I never hear anything about him. Like, he just sits there. You know what it reminds me a lot of? It's like, has anybody ever been in a guild where, like, the guild master doesn't log on anymore, but it's still the guild master and nobody really leaves? I feel like that's kind of like what happened. Yeah, he's just got left with Guildmaster, and everybody else has just got like me. Yeah, exactly, like me.
CEO. But despite his efforts to steer the company in the direction it once took, Twitch can't help but fall victim to the problems that come from big tech holding the reins.
Yeah, it's about
because
right.
After the acquisition, Twitch's fate was sealed. From banning popular streamers by the truckload or mismanaging copyright and advertising on the platform, Twitch under Amazon has had its fair share of controversies. The first and most pressing of these issues was censorship. And now this really isn't a surprise considering all big tech companies eventually adopt a draconian censorship model.
I think that is generally true. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that there's a certain level of censorship and then there's also a certain level of like harassment. Now, I am pro personal censorship. This is generally what I think is that you should be able to, if you don't want to see something, you should not have to see it. That is your right to not have to see it. You know, if like you don't like science, you can blacklist the word science in fucking Twitter and you'll never see that fake shit again.
But Twitch's censorship is noticeably worse than any other big tech giant. And the problem lies...
Do you guys think that's true? Do you guys think that's true, that it's worse than any other... Like, I feel like... YouTube's worse? No, I don't think YouTube is worse. I don't know. I mean, like, maybe. Let's see why he says it.
With Twitch's moderation. You see, ever since the platform properly took off, there were always too many messages to keep track of, let alone moderate.
Sure was.
But for advertisers, this wasn't good enough. They didn't want to advertise their content on, quote, controversial topics. So Amazon tussled with this issue for years after they acquired Twitch, trying and failing to suppress its culture of free expression. And this is for years after they acquired Twitch, trying and failing to suppress its...
Bro. Look who it is. Holy fucking shit. Read the chat. Spurg about to be a hate work. Banning VODs again. We can call him Baldy for another 2 months, boys. Nice. Twitch's clothing. Where do we go? YouTube? Fuck those snowflakes. No more McConnell then. Off to YouTube. The end. Orwell's Think Police. What is this dog shit? Meanwhile, streamers can't play music. Cancel culture strikes again. Bro, people were not having it. They were not about to have this shit. Oh my god. They were mad.
Culture of free expression. And this is why Twitch has become very infamous for banning streamers who displease the company policy, whilst also promoting popular streamers despite their flagrant abuses of the terms of service. This issue became...
I think that Twitch, like, the fact is that, like, there's a certain amount of common sense with this, and there's also a certain amount of like mismanagement, because a lot of times people get away with stuff and you just never hear about it because they're not really that popular, so it's not a news story if they get away with it. I feel like most of the time a lot of these like breaking of TOS and like also like if you're a really popular streamer, this is the same with any company, right? I mean, you're going to get treated different. Like you can make mistakes that other people can't make because you make the company more money. Oh, that's not fair. Well, of course it's not fucking fair. No shit.
Particularly noticeable in December 2020 with the outright banning of words such as virgin, incel, and simp. But Twitch
that didn't happen.
In December 2020 with the outright banning of words such as virgin, incel.
Okay, it did happen? All right. I think that people that complain about hot tub streams are virgins. I think that people that tier 3 sub to them are simps. And I think people that are commenting and complaining about what I'm saying right now about hot tub streams in my chat are incels. I guess we'll see if I get banned tomorrow, right? Because if I get banned tomorrow, then it means that I'm right. Or that he's right. But if not, then it looks like he's not right. So yeah, it's not true. See ya, guys. Yeah, guys, as I said, I heard there's a new PoE season coming out. Feeling a break coming on.
And simp. But Twitch doesn't just ban simple words like this. Twitch has amended its misinformation standards and said that users who repeatedly disseminate misleading material will be banned. According to
I feel like, has that ever really happened? Like, I don't, has that really happened before? Because, like, I mean, Greek, like, I feel like to a certain extent, like, how is it that Greek can exist and misinformation is getting banned? You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, Hassan got banned for saying cracker. Yeah, but like that's some different. Like, that's some racist shit. Like that's different. Like unhinged, my streamer last stream. Yeah, whatever. It says Greek got banned for twerking. Yeah, exactly. Like he didn't get banned for misinformation. And what's this here? Greek speaking truth. Oh, because it's not information. They know what it really is. Exactly. And they banned Trump? Yeah, but like they banned Trump because they don't like Trump. It had nothing to do with what he said. They said they banned him for some shit he said about Mexicans or something like that 2 years ago. It was just that was a virtue signal. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, yeah, absolutely not. What's this here? Do you think Twitch has autopilot since COVID started? People got banned for saying WoW's not pay to win? I wish. Why is Destiny banned? Honestly, I think that there are very few streamers that Twitch might not actually like. I think that if there's any one streamer that Twitch actually doesn't like, is Destiny. Destiny's been on this fucking platform for fucking a million years, right? That Destiny is like, you know, whether you like Destiny or not, you've got to admit, this guy was a fucking, one of the founders of this site. He was there getting mad about StarCraft 2. This shit was like fucking 12 years ago. And so he was back, and so there's probably people that have been working there for 10 years. They hated him whenever they started. So Doc, they didn't ban Doc for misinformation. There's no evidence for that to be the case. Yeah, there's no, like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, they banned Doc for, Doc talked about conspiracy? So have I. After, like, anything, that, like, I am living proof that, like, saying crazy shit on stream won't get you banned. I say insane shit all the time. I never get banned.
To the New York Times, Twitch will now restrict, quote, damaging disinformation superspreaders who regularly share misinformation on or off Twitch. With Twitch...
Like, as I said, has there ever been a case of this happening? Gutex? Ah! But did they ban his account, or did they just remove his emote? Because I thought they just removed his emote. Yeah, a Phantom Lord, he's banned, but did he get banned for that specifically? I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what the details for that are. That actually could be a good example. I didn't think of that.
Noting in a blog post that, quote, everyday people come together on Twitch to establish communities that celebrate a range of hobbies, passions, and abilities. We're proud of Twitch's ability to bring people together, but we don't feel those who exploit internet platforms to propagate false, damaging information have a place in our community, end quotes. And this is why in very recent years, we're starting to see the mass banning of streamers, with even the major Twitch streamer Dr. Disrespect being permanently banned after just mentioning David Eichel in the stream. Yes, you.
I find this video is very misleading, and I think that it draws a lot of conclusions that are totally unfounded. Like the idea that Twitch streamers don't get banned for blatantly breaking the TOS, like really big streamers. And I think that really what he did is that he showed an example of XQC and another example of Pokimane. Like, you can't just insinuate something like that and then not use it, not actually express like why this is. And also, like, doesn't this directly contradict the fact that other people are getting banned? And even in his own picture that he used as a pop-up, it showed XQC had gotten banned for, that was like his 5th time. So like, it's clear that obviously the TOS is being upheld for streamers, even if they're big or small. And also, I don't think that, like, Dr. Disrespect didn't get banned for talking about David Icke. Like, that didn't happen. Actually, I cannot prove a negative. You're right. Like, actually, I'm not going to say it did not happen because I don't know that it didn't happen. However, nobody knows that it did happen. And there are a lot of examples of other people saying other crazy shit, like David Icke, and them not getting banned. So there's no precedent for this to occur, and is simultaneously being presented as if it is the truth.
Can't even mention thought criminals on Twitch anymore. Let alone any opinion.
You can mention Dr. Disrespect. You can mention Ice Poseidon. That's not true. It's not true.
That might go against Twitch's moderation team. But then who is in control of Twitch's moderation team? Who's setting these terms of service? Well, once you understand Twitch's moderation team, everything else begins to click together. And it starts to make more sense why Twitch's censorship has quickly become so extreme, even beating YouTube in its draconian levels of censorship. For example, the people in charge of Twitch's censorship teams are people like Steph Lower, a prominent member of Twitch's Safety Advisory Council. Her position is very powerful. Steph has the power to control Twitch's terms of service and permanently ban users from the site. Now, who is...
No, that's not, like, it's just like, are you kidding me? That's not, like, we've got to go, let's go back and we're gonna pause every time something was said that's not true.
Censorship. For example, the people in charge of Twitch's censorship teams are people like Steph Lower, a prominent member.
They're not in charge of the censorship team. This was clearly a PR move to get good press for bringing people on that are part of minority groups. These people probably have no power and no influence. And this was even confirmed by Devin Nash whenever he was invited to the project but declined because he didn't like it. And he thought that it would have no power or impact. So even somebody who was involved in this directly and declined it said this wasn't the case. Said people like it's not them. He's playing games with words. It's clearly what it is. Okay, here we go again.
Of Twitch's Safety Advisory Council. Her position is very powerful. Steph has the...
There's no evidence of that at all. There's no evidence that anything that's happened on Twitch was an outcome of the Trust and Safety Council. There's no evidence or even indication for that. And I think that there is an indication in the other way.
Power to control Twitch's terms of service and permanently ban users from the...
They don't have any power to control the terms of service that is explicitly stated or known at all. Will advise. This does not, like, advising on something does not mean that they're writing it themselves. And it also doesn't mean that they can explicitly ban somebody. Like, listen to what he said again.
Very powerful. Steph has the power to control Twitch's terms of service and permanently ban users from the site.
That's just not true.
Now who...
Like, it's just like, what do you mean? Like, didn't Delora get banned from this council? No, Delora got banned for self-harm because he broke a keyboard on his head. Like,
Who is Steph? Well, Steph is a person who believes they are a deer and perform rituals to be in tune with their, quote, deer spirit. And if that's not weird enough, hear me out here. They also try to achieve, quote, deergasms with their partner. This is who is in control of Twitch's censorship team.
Who cares?
And I'm sure...
Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I don't think this is a big deal. Like, yeah, a lot of people think weird things. It's like, this is not a person... Like, the only problem that I have with anything like this is if this person is having a material impact on my life. The fact is that she can think that she's a deer all she wants, and it does not affect me. I don't want to go and, like, the thing is, I feel like so many people don't understand this. The moment that you start meddling in somebody else's life and, oh, you can't be a deer, you're not a real deer. Like, who gives a fuck? Who the fuck are you to tell them what they can and do with their life? It's not a big deal. So, I don't know. I find it to be weird. It's a fucking America. You be whoever you want. Even if it's a deer.
Well, she's the perfect person to impartially decide who can voice their opinions and which voices should be silenced. And Steph obviously knows how egregious this is, and openly brags about it, laughing about her power and control of Twitch, claiming, quote, some people should be afraid of me. But if
bro, like I find this to be like this this is not bro. I just, oh my god. All right, so let's contextualize this because apparently I'm the only fucking person who remembers anything. So what happened is that Twitch made this trust and safety council, and like Carnage was on it. I forgot, there was a couple other people that were on it. Maybe Dan's Gaming was on, I don't remember. And also Steph was on it. And what happened is that immediately after this announcement came out, people immediately found out who she was, what she was about, all the shit that was going on. She came out and apologized for it. She apologized for it, yeah. And why did it happen? Why did it happen? It happened because of Twitch. Twitch wanted to get virtue signal points, they wanted to get good press, and they wanted to look like they were politically correct. So they take this person, they put them on a front fucking page, they put a target on their head, and they say, hey, look who we care about. Then everybody went over to their chat, and they harassed the fucking shit out of them. And then guess what? After fucking, I don't know, 2 or 3 days of this, yeah, she cracked. She said stuff that she shouldn't have said. No fucking shit. Who wouldn't have? This is a small streamer with a very tiny audience that immediately gets exposed to literally over 1 million people. And yes, they make an ass out of themselves. That is a bad thing. But they apologize for it. And this is not in any way, shape, or form any type of material acknowledgement that this is true. She just said this. There's no acknowledgement that it's true. There's no indication that it's true. There's nothing that indicates that this is true at all. She went on a power trip crying about cis men? Of course she did, because she's getting attacked by a bunch of people who she thinks are cis men. Of course that's what happened. It's like nobody can ever fucking stop and think what somebody else is thinking. That doesn't mean that she's right. She even apologized. I'm not defending it. She's not defending it. I'm saying that it makes sense why they behaved this way, why they reacted this way. You have to see why somebody does something in order to find out why you can make them not do it.
If you try to criticize Steph, the media immediately regards this as a hate and harassment campaign.
This was not true at all. Pay Money Wubby and I both made videos that were critical of this, and nothing happened to either one of us. Like, just shut the fuck up. This is not true. Again, it's just simply not true. Like, you go back and watch the video. Like, I made like 5 videos of this. So you're saying that she was lying? Yeah, I think that she was pressed and she was lying because she was upset. Yeah. Yeah, she'd get cornered.
And no, I really wish I was joking. And while Twitch's moderation team is a problem in its own right, this has also served to highlight another major issue that Twitch is now dealing with.
What's that?
But before we go into that, I want to talk to you about today's sponsor, Fabulous, the #1 self-care app to help you build better habits and achieve your goals.
I'm going to take it off
social media apps.
You guys need to calm down, like talking shit.
It's becoming harder to rewire our brains and adopt healthy new routines. However, it can be easier with a digital coach by your side, encouraging you to achieve your goals through positive reinforcement.
Like, I want to let y'all know, like, how do you, like, anybody that's like trying to write some rude comment about her, like, how do you think that makes me look whenever you write that comment? How do you think I look whenever you do that? Well, I look really bad, right? So we're going to ban you if you do that. Like, you type like a clown, and you make me and everybody else in the community look bad. And there's like probably 20 of y'all in chat, and everybody else is totally fucking fine. Quit making me look like a clown. I can do that enough myself.
The Fabulous app is a digital coach, a happiness trainer that uses insights from behavioral science to develop great habits that will enable you to live the life that you want. With a community of more than 30 million users around the world, Fabulous makes it easy for anyone to develop and stick to healthy habits thanks to science-backed daily routines. Starting when you first wake up with small steps each day that will lead to big and long-lasting changes. With Fabulous Premium, you can build and improve an unlimited number of habits in your routines and take part in all programs and exercises. I personally chose Fabulous because working at home on these YouTube videos makes it quite hard to build constant daily routines, and this can lead to me struggling to be productive and stay focused on my work. But with Fabulous Premium, I was able to use Fabulous's habit tracking and dedicated program to break down proven healthy habits that were easy to achieve every day, like writing to-do lists and breathing exercises. And Fabulous's guided programs helped me build an ideal daily routine that I could stick to. I would also use Fabulous's habit tracking, where I could pick from more than hundreds of recommended habits, which Fabulous reminds you to complete with a reason why.
Let me read these.
They're dedicated.
Let me read these. Oh, hold up. Let me read these. Intermittent fasting Meditate, be grateful. What do you think? Block distractions, celebrate.
For more than hundreds of recommended habits,
clench your fists or squeeze your hands.
Why. All while their dedicated program gently nudges me to committing to stay focused. So start building your ideal daily routine. The first 100 people who click on the link will get 25% off a fabulous subscription.
Wow. Fabulous. Censoring and simping. Here we go.
Okay, so we've established that since Amazon's takeover, Twitch has become a very different place. But the censorship didn't just stop at banning words. The model of power mod censorship was then trickling down into Twitch's streams themselves, developing this ridiculous power imbalance between moderators and people in the chat. A streamer's mods have the power to ban, unban, and censor opinions they don't like, which leads to echo chambers of the highest orders.
That's fine.
Or Twitch's stream culture promotes narcissism-prone young influencers to gain instant notoriety by generating enough controversy. And
I think that it's totally okay that people can ban whoever they want in their chat. I think that it's totally okay. And like whenever you really explore the alternative, you realize how unrealistic and entitled it sounds. It's that you can go into somebody else's stream and say stuff and harass them and they can't ban you. So they don't have the right to choose who they associate with. It's weird. Like, I don't understand that at all. It's very weird. Yeah, it's like your house, your rules. Yeah, it's your stream, man. I feel like banning people is useless since they can make a new account. Yeah, but most people don't. I mean, like, it definitely doesn't. It definitely improves it. And people are toxic, you have to ban her. No, you can ban people for whoever they want. Like, people have the right to be in an echo chamber if they want to be. And it's the same on YouTube as well. I mean, you can disable comments, you can delete comments, you can hide the likes and dislikes. You can't do that with dislikes anymore. But you can do that with likes, you can hide that. There are a lot of things like this on YouTube that are also available. Now, obviously, this person isn't making an argument for YouTube versus Twitch, but I feel like this is something that's true in general. I believe in personal censorship. I think that somebody should have the right to see what they want to see and not see what they don't want to see. It's absolutely somebody's right to do that.
Then to censor any of the backlash that comes with this through moderators' censorship. And this is especially true for girl streamers whose chats are full of neckbeards and simps. Of course, these specific chats require...
I think this is that's kind of stupid to say, right? Because, like, I mean, didn't Amarath have, like, a guy that was, like, stalking her? And we watched a video about it, like, a few weeks ago. Like, I find it to be, like, a very disingenuous perspective that, women streamers have... all of these like simps and neckbeards that are watching them. Like, what do you think, guys don't have this too? Their guy streamers have more simps than girl streamers. It's weird. There's nothing unique about being a girl in this way.
Amounts of moderation to filter out harassing comments and the like, but...
Well, of course, yeah, because a lot of girls get harassed on stream. That's just what happens. Like, that's why if you have any girl... Go look right now, and I bet they're deleted, but like if you go look at almost any girl's top clips, even if she is a gameplay-only streamer, most of the top clips were her getting up and walking to or from the computer. That's a fact. Like that's a fucking fact. And like people pretend like this shit isn't true, and they're like, oh, it's just a bunch of simps and stuff like this. It's like they don't even look at it from the perspective of a girl. Who there's like look at Sweet Anita, right? She had a stalker. Look at Amarath, she had a stalker. And think about all the other ones that had a stalker but decided not to tell everybody about it. I know that's the case. I find this to be very disingenuous, and it paints girls in an unfair light. It's just so unfair.
The mods of these channels often see themselves as the protector of the stream. These Twitch power mods are chosen for their devotion to being a white knight and their dedication to wasting their lives removing thirsty comments. Power mods are chosen for their devotion to being a white knight and their dedication to wasting their lives removing...
He cut it off. He cut his you can tell there was an audio cut there. Because obviously you're like... It's like this video came out of like 2014. It's like, of course the mods are going to be fans of the stream. What the hell did you expect? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what did you think? That, like, these people aren't going to like the stream? What the fuck? Wait, yeah, what? What do you mean? Sorry, Asmongold's video is 100% on point? But it's just factually... How can you say that it's 100% on point? Like, here. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. Where is it? Where's the person's message? Oh, fuck. We're not going to get the... Okay, the Demberg. You've been a sub for a year. This guy, the video on is 100% on point. Please give me an example of one point related to this that he has that is accurate. Give me an example of one point. What has he said that is in any way accurate? We'll see if we can find the message here. Okay, I'm fairly certain that we won't. You're getting baited and reading bad chats. Am I doing that again? I love arguing. It's so hard for me not to do it. Yeah, it's so hard for me not to do it. I just checked 3 streamers. Yeah, I mean, like Justin TV part was really good. The guy's misogynistic just saying things. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And invite him on Discord to debate. The guy that made this, yeah, sure, I would be willing to talk to him about it. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, of course.
Dusty comments, which is why it's really no wonder that Twitch mods often end up being power abusing creeps in their own right. In fact, I even made a whole video dedicated to discussing the sorts of people who become moderators in the first place. In the video I boiled down, the moderators tend to be atomized, repressed, lonely losers who have no meaning, purpose, or connection in their lives.
I think that you can say that people that want to be a moderator, they are people that want power. And this is like always the paradox of leadership and the paradox of power, is that you want people in power that don't want power, and the people that want power through leadership, you probably don't want them to have it. Like, this is always the case. Now, are they lonely losers? No, I don't think so. I think that most people are just moderators because they like being part of the community, and it's something that they do all the time, and they find a way to give back, and they're okay with it. Right? I mean, that's it. And I also have mods that never, like, some of my mods do a lot of work. They do great stuff. But some of the mods, they are never in chat. They never ban anyone. The only time they're like, they'll come in a chat like every 6 months. Hey, does anybody have a Steam gift card? Yo, by the way, like, I need to, I was going to get this new game. Can anybody give me a Steam gift card? Like, just real quick. Yeah, it's a whole spectrum.
Taking out their oppression by censoring information they don't like, and drooling on the e-feet of bimbo Twitch streamers, milking...
Yeah, I think that's totally okay. I think that the Twitch streamers, each streamer, you have to keep in mind, each person who's a moderator is a moderator because the streamer allows them to be a moderator. So any action of a mod is implicitly allowed and supported by the streamer. Now, obviously, mods go rogue, of course. But I think as a general sense, that's true.
Twitch is simply cash cow. And I haven't even mentioned Twitch's admins themselves, who rule the site with an iron fist. The admins at Twitch are quick to ban any small channel that strays even an inch from the terms of service. Although they don't even bother to...
I don't think that's true because most small channels don't get reported, but I will grant you this. Smaller streamers don't know all of the rules and nuances to Twitch. And I do feel like for a small streamer, this is a point that he's making that I think is relatively accurate. Is that as a small streamer, you are playing Twitch on hardcore mode. Because you are going to get probably no chance at an appeal. And on top of that, you have people in chat that are intentionally trying to get you banned because they think it'll be funny. And you don't know all of the nuances to the rules. So I actually think for a new streamer, the platform is incredibly unforgiving. And bad. I think this part is true. Calling this guy is gonna ask channel taken down. I don't know if he got his channel taken down or not. I have no idea. Let's watch this.
Adhere to their own rules. They just make it up as it goes along. All the while they protect the most popular streamers who have free reign to do as they please. So long as Twitch can still...
Hassan got suspended like 3 times though. Like, I feel like Hassan's kind of a bad example for that. Because remember whenever he said cracker and he got suspended for a week. And then other people said it and they got suspended too. So I don't think this is a very good example. This literally didn't happen.
Take that giant cut. I mean, Twitch is absolutely shameless with their committal to these...
And also Hassan got suspended a few years ago whenever he played a video that had violent footage in it. So the idea that Hassan is not getting in trouble is just simply, it's factually untrue. That's the thing. This is a factually untrue statement. Hassan's trash. Well, I don't care. Somebody can be trash, and they still don't deserve to be banned.
Double standards, which ties directly into their recent move towards so-called hot tub streams. Now, as I mentioned before, Twitch has always struggled to generate revenue, but under the control of Amazon, Twitch resorted to desperate measures, with Amazon deciding that the best way for Twitch to make money was not just to allow, but to actively promote softcore porn on their platform. Despite Twitch's terms of service prohibiting,
I don't really think that they actively tried to promote it, and actually I would argue the opposite. I would argue that the hot tub and ASMR sections were created so they can explicitly not promote it. Because what happens is that advertisers don't want to have their ads placed on certain types of content. So they don't want to have their ad next to Amarath sitting on a banana. Like, you know, they feel they think this is sexual content. It's obviously sexual content. And so they don't want to have their ad next to it. So Twitch creates a separate section that all people in that section don't get the opportunity to run ads. They can't run certain types of ads, and their ad revenue is a lot lower. And it's the same thing as the slot section as well. And so actually in the creation of those sections, it creates the opposite argument because of the way that ads are integrated into the website. And but it's sexual content, but Twitch is doing nothing to remove it because they don't care. It's not a problem to them. Yeah, because it's not a problem. Like, why would they care? So what if a girl wants to sit on a banana? Who gives a shit? You know, it's the it's the advertisers that care, so they removed it from the advertising budget, and so now it doesn't matter. Why would they go out of their way to solve a problem that doesn't need to be solved? Why would they invest their time into something that they don't need to do? Because kids? You can't make an argument it's for the kids whenever you have people all the time talking about the nuances of anal sex. Like, I'm not going to fucking clutch pearls about a girl in a bikini whenever there's other people talking about anal sex and like fucking how to give a blowjob. It's not going to happen. Not to mention games that people play that are obviously not okay with kids.
Putting adult content, the site became proliferate.
Wait, no, people don't understand that? Wait, there are people that disagree with what I'm saying? Like, Twitch doesn't give a fuck about kids. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you look at like the top 40 music videos. Like, most of the top 40 music videos, especially, I mean, like a Cardi B music video, absolutely way more explicit than anything you see on Twitch. And kids can watch that. Again, I'm not going to do this pearl clutching thing. I think it's ridiculous. And also, it's age-gated. Yeah, it is. I used to say it, but you're turning into an old man yelling at the kids. True.
With so-called hot tub streams, to such a degree that Twitch later added a separate category just for this topic.
Yeah.
And while this obviously wasn't in keeping with the company's founding principles, it didn't stop Amazon from...
Yes, it was. Who's to say it's not in keeping with their founding principles? I think that it is in keeping with their founding principles, because their founding principles were fundamentally no censorship and let people upload what they want to upload. So I would argue the opposite. Like, the entire thing was predicated on people being able to say and do what they wanted.
Embracing the trend, milking as much cash as they possibly could from simps and neckbeards, with Amazon profiting from the growing class of desperate lonely losers whose...
That's not even really true either. Because if you know, like, a lot of these streamers, female streamers, they make all their money on OnlyFans. They make all their money on donations. They don't make a lot of money on subs because people are embarrassed to be like a sub of, I don't know, like Amarath or something like that. So this is, again, like another, like, not really true statement. Now, let's see here.
The only way of addressing their pain of isolation is to spunk their grubby cash onto a virtual ego. And while these streams were hugely popular and led to lots of donations and revenue for the platform,
yeah,
it also angered the normal...
Oh my god. Bro, I think I was, like, we were playing, like, Fortnite or PUBG the night that he did this. Like, we were in this, like, this is Mitch's old apartment. Like, we have been over there so many fucking times. I might have been over there that day. And then he's like, alright guys, I'll see you later. I'm gonna start stream. Fucking boom. Starts a revolution.
People on Twitch, and it became a source of mockery, leading at the time to the relatively obscure word, simping, to become a mainstay of public discourse. However, this ridicule was too much for Amazon to handle, leading to their insanely idiotic decision to ban the word entirely.
Bro, Bro, what is this? What is this? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not even true.
But then again, I guess it's not really a surprise considering the people who control the flow of information in terms of service are busy having deargasms. And in fact, Twitch banning all words and criticism is a common occurrence. The ban hammer strikes often and with no regard for the terms of service or the livelihoods of the creators. And
I think that's a good point. I do think that Twitch should be more, and also, like, here's the thing, right, is people have it, there's a negativity bias, where every time that somebody gets suspended for something stupid, everybody hears about this because they're mad. So, like, you hear about the bad ones, but you don't hear about the normal ones where it's like, oh, somebody pulled out their dick on stream and they had 7 viewers and they got banned, and that's it, right? You never hear about those because it's like, yeah, of course that's what happened.
What's even worse is that whilst the small creators struggle to gain popularity and avoid being banned for the smallest of infractions, the largest streamers that bring in the most revenue for Twitch enjoy almost limitless protection.
I don't understand how you can use that as an example and then say something like that while you just went through a panel showing 4 of the biggest streamers on the platform. 4, I mean, top 0.1% streamers. Doc, XQC, Forzen, and Destiny, all of these guys. Like, how? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, what's the juxtaposition here? We're going to show a bunch of clips of a bunch of pictures of streamers getting banned and then talk about how they don't get banned?
The largest streamers that bring in the most revenue for Twitch enjoy almost limitless protection, because this is the real way that Twitch makes money. And this gets sinister not just for the fact that it erodes free speech on the internet, but also because of the way that Twitch is hiding sexual assault and harassment allegations.
Multiple live streams on Twitch are harassment are easy to find
against much of Twitch's biggest partners, all in the name of protecting profits. Harassment erodes free speech on the internet, but also because of the way that Twitch is hiding sexual assault and harassment allegations against much of Twitch's biggest partners, all in the name of protecting profits. The worst offenders in these allegations were given 3-day bans at most, and a tiny little slap on the wrist for such egregious allegations. Of course.
Oh my god. This video, like, I do actually find, like, these are videos that I think are, these are really bad. This is somebody who is, and it's hard to say deliberately, but this is somebody who is just, if you want to talk about misinformation, I think we're looking at it right here. This is insane. XQC's broken the rules like 12 times. How are you defending this? Well, he got suspended for that. Like, he's been suspended probably 12 times too. And also, like, yes, you're right. Like, okay, sure. Let's say he's been suspended for breaking the rules, but breaking the rules is much different. Like, listen to what this person said. Listen to what this person said.
All these bans, Twitch is hiding sexual assault and harassment allegations against much of Twitch's biggest partners, all in the name of protecting profits. The worst offense.
That is a lot different than saying somebody broke the rules. That is fucking huge. His point's a small streamer won't be able to return 12 times. It's just one and done. Yeah, big surprise. If you make the company a lot of money, you get extra treatment. Like, that's the same as on every platform. It's the same as PewDiePie and Logan Paul didn't get banned either on YouTube. Every platform works like that because that's how the real world works. It's common sense. It's implying XQC is a sexual harasser. Like, this is really bad, yeah. Holy shit.
In these allegations were given 3-day bans at most, and a tiny little slap on the wrist for such egregious allegations. Of course, all these problems wouldn't have happened in the first place if the site had stayed true to the founding principles that Justin had always championed. It was the greed of Amazon looking to make a quick buck of lonely, horny teenagers that led Twitch down this dark path. But then this begs the more important question: why are so many people throwing their cash on these parasocial relationships in the first place? How is Amazon able to—
Because people don't have any friends in real life, and so they think streams are their friends and people that they're in streams with are their friends, right? I think that's pretty normal. Yeah, that's normal, yeah.
To make Twitch a multi-billion-dollar company just from people donating to these random streamers? And why are millions of young people wasting their lives watching people talk to a camera for several hours a day? Is it simply just horny teenagers, or is—
I find that, like, if you want to look at it from that perspective, there are a lot of people that view YouTube videos as the same way. I don't really agree with the premise that watching streams is somehow an inferior type of entertainment than watching YouTube videos. And I think a really good example of that is Minecraft stands. I think that Minecraft stands are way more fucking ravenous than Twitch viewers, but they're all on YouTube. So it's not like this weird thing where like people on YouTube or other platforms are not like this. So parasocial relationships are an outcome of, to be honest, celebrity in general. Like, it's something that happened like back whenever people would buy like every Britney Spears t-shirt or, you know, stuff like that, reality TV shows and YouTube and like Twitch. Like, Twitch is not unique in this circumstance.
There's something else to this. Well, it's no secret that our neoliberal dystopia indoctrinates young people to shun their own authenticity, community, and family for the replacement of virtual online relationships to provide them an empty sense of community. We live in a society...
Let's see about that. So, media wants you to abandon your family and be part of... I mean, you could make a capitalistic argument for that. Sure, I think maybe you could do that because it would be something that is beneficial for them financially. So you could imply that they're doing it under the assumption that they are acting in their own benefit. Sure, you could make that argument. I don't really think it's that accurate, but okay.
That has normalized and accelerated the evisceration of the family unit. The building blocks of society are crumbling into dust. In the words of Theodore Dalrymple, the vacuity of modern life in the West, its lack of transcendence lived as it is increasingly without religious or political belief, without a worthwhile creative culture, often without deep personal attachments, and without even a struggle for survival. Taking us into a God-shaped hole, which is rushing the search for sensual pleasure, which, however, no more than distracts. And the sensual...
I think that most people don't want to go into a world of, I'm going to just change this because it's a little bit uncomfortable to look at that. Okay, the guy just staring at me. Of modern life, a sacrifice transcendent. Like, I don't know whenever this guy said this. Let me go over, I'm just going to look up and see whenever the, Theo... Dalrymple. When did this guy, was born in 1949. Okay, so he's still around. All right, so this isn't something from like the 1800s or something like that. Because like, I mean, there were like, I mean, there's quotes of Socrates complaining about how kids nowadays just want to drink and not study and hang out. So I didn't know if this was something from a long time ago. I don't really think this is a necessarily bad thing. I don't think that a transcendent lifestyle is really not necessarily accessible. I think it could be accessible, but it is not pursued by the average person. An average person sometimes doesn't want to have a transcendent lifestyle. You look at like the context of, you know, like the spectrum of like, you know, human IQ, human behavior, human interests. Many people don't want to spend a bunch of time thinking about, you know, like all these complicated issues. They just want to watch the big game. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing. You don't need everybody to be a Harvard graduate.
And the sensual pleasure he talks about is now seen in the form of egos, fake parasocial relationships, and watching a drip of meaningless, unfulfilling content that leaves you open-mouthed, slouched on your bed, and tranquilized into a passive, obedient numbness.
Well, I think it's the same with these videos too. I think that everything is like that. I mean, he's definitely right that like social media and the way that people consume it is mostly unhealthy. I think so. I think it's become more and more unhealthy. I know, like, how many of you guys have, like, a family member, maybe you have a kid, and, like, the kid's, like, between the ages, like, I don't know, like, 9 and 14 or so, and, like, social media fucked up their head. Like, I've heard about this a lot. Yeah. It's a very, very popular thing, so I don't think it's completely untrue.
As Guy Debord said, quote, "In societies where modern conditions of production prevail, all of life presents itself as an immense accumulation of spectacles. Everything that was directly lived has moved away into representation." And Twitch is at the forefront of the social phenomena, and it's become the lifeblood of Twitch's revenue model. The Amazon Twitch system works by trapping vulnerable people and providing a temporary solution to a permanent problem. If you can't get human contact from
I don't think that Twitch is fundamentally attracting vulnerable people, and I don't think that watching a stream is fundamentally something that causes vulnerability. Now, I think you can make an argument for that for social media in general. You can say that social media in general attracts vulnerable people, but is this really an argument that it attracts vulnerable people specifically, or is it that it attracts a lot of people and there are a lot of vulnerable people inside of the group of a lot of people that it attracts naturally? I don't necessarily know. I think that really what it does, what social media and these things do, they give an outlet for people to have a voice and to spread their craziness. Because, you know, you could just have like one village idiot, but like now all the village idiots are connected and it's called the Flat Earth Society. So like that's definitely true, sure.
Real life, Twitch gives you this through a rough facsimile, and this alternative seems to fill a hole, making it very hard for the victims of our loneliness epidemic to quit. And the really sad fact is that for these sad individuals to interact with their favorite popular streamers is through their wallets, competing with their fellow loners for attention. I mean, it's not like most streamers actually care about their fans in any meaningful way either, which is why during the peak of our loneliness in 2020, Twitch's viewership was up 67%.
I feel like that's the same with Netflix too, though. It's the same with all entertainment. I feel like the only thing that I don't like about this assumption is that it's based off of like the information is presented in a way that it seems to be a problem that is exclusive with Twitch, whereas YouTube viewership went up, Twitter usage went up, Twitch usage went up. Netflix, Hulu, all of these went up astronomically during COVID. This was not something that is endemic to Twitch. So if it's not because of Twitch, because it happened to everybody else, then it's not caused by this thing. Unless you assume that every single type of media provides this same level of parasocial relationship, like brain dead social media consumption. And if you want to make that argument, that's fine. I think that you can make that argument, but I think that you cannot make the argument that it is exclusively a Twitch problem.
And has now generated 140 million active monthly users. And the sad fact is there's no incentive for these people to break the loop, and it's likely that many won't, ever. They'll never want to give up their parasocial relationships, always stuck in this fake self-gratification.
I don't agree with that. I think that there are a lot of people who actually just stop watching streams. Like, the thing is, people go through habits of like watching streams or not. And also I think this is an example of, you do have some mentally ill weirdos that like watch streams religiously because they think that they're friends with the streamer. Like, yeah, I think everybody knows that's weird and bad, but most other people aren't like that. They just watch streams because they want to watch somebody play a game. And that's really what the majority of streams are.
World. And Twitch doesn't want them to break this loop. Twitch doesn't want you to be connected with your family and neighbors. It doesn't want you to have loving relationships because they profit when you're lonely and miserable. This is their business.
Again, I think you can make this argument, but you can only make it on a categorical level of all social media, and there's nothing about Twitch that is unique. So you can make this argument for Twitter, social media, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, etc., but you can't say it for just Twitch.
Business model after all, with Twitch taking cuts of every desperate subscription or simpy donation. And this situation isn't healthy for the streamers either. Although ostensibly they're benefiting from these parasocial relationships, the unhealthy...
I think that to a certain degree, there are people, no they don't, they make money when people feel a connection with streamers, not just in sadness. Well, no, that's true too. I find it, again, you can make an argument that social media companies profit off of loneliness and social isolation. You can make an argument for that, and I think that you can make a strong argument for that. But I don't think that you can make an argument that Twitch does this exclusively. Let me see. You don't physically see the person you're talking to on Twitter? So you're saying that it's a spectrum then? So you're saying that they all do it, but Twitch is worse? Maybe you could say that. I think it depends, right? And I think that the existence of things like Minecraft stands and fucking like K-pop stands disprove that, because anything that you think is bad for like one of these Twitch streamers, there were some times that like different streamers and like these K-pop people and like other these like Twitter celebrities, they would have like trends where people would cut themselves for the content creator. Like I'm not the only person who's seen this, right? Yeah, I never saw this happen on Twitch. So I feel like, yeah, it definitely has happened. And you don't physically see the streamer on the monitor either if you don't want to go there. Yeah, that's true too. And let's see here. Are people doing this for Justin Bieber? Do you think my streamer is my friend problem is more prevalent with VTubers or normal streamers? I think it depends on who it is, and I feel like it's a personal thing. All I'm really saying is that I think that all of social media does create this, and it's not something that's unique with Twitch. I think the reason for that is that you can look at other types of media and how people consume it, and these same things manifest in all social media, not just on Twitch. So it would imply that Twitch is not a causal factor. You see, like it's that simple.
Dynamic this creates makes these popular streamers live in this sort of weird Truman Show lifestyle. The whole world knowing one's innermost life with no reciprocity whatsoever can make havoc on the mental health of streamers by either turning them into egotists.
Yeah, I think that it can be very unhealthy as well. I think this is true. People feeling like they have to share everything about their life and then the audience wanting that. Like this is definitely an issue for certain streamers. I also think that like to a certain degree, this is a problem with like a person not able to set their own boundaries and not able to make decisions and decide things for themselves. I don't necessarily think this is something that is the fault of Twitch. I think this is an individual problem.
It's called narcissistic maniacs, or depressed, anxious, emotional crybabies, which is why so many popular streamers seem to fall from grace in such a catastrophic fashion. And this might be one of the worst things about Twitch.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, Tyler 1 is extremely successful. Like, Amarath was extremely successful. Tfue is doing great. Like, I feel like all of these examples, except for Delore, who only got suspended, and now I think he's back and he's fine. So, I mean, like the only one that you have an example of really of that is from 2000 and like what was it 2012 with the wheelchair guy.
Profiting and contributing to the loneliness of an entire generation, just adding more and more billions to Bezos' empire.
Big money.
And the thing is, this is leading to even worse consequences, because when people get so attached to these parasocial relationships, this does foster a lot of emotions. And sometimes there's rare breeds of Spurglords who begin to feel anger, annoyance, and despair at the fact that their relationships are just hollowed out digital distractions. And when they feel this pain, they want to get their vengeance. They want to attack the streamer that they feel is the cause of their problems, which is leading to one of the biggest problems on Twitch, swatting.
I think that this is not something that is just because they're angry at the streamer. The reason why people call, like, let's look at a more vanilla thing, right? Whenever I would go somewhere, people will call the restaurant and ask if Tryhard is there. The reason why they're doing that is not because they have some parasocial relationship with me and they're mad. They're doing it because they think it's funny. That's it. Yeah, they think it's funny. They want to get an impact and they want to do something. Now, I think that this is not always the case, but it's not always and it's not never the case. It's just the case sometimes. And I don't agree with the assertion that it's the norm. I don't think so. I think that that's not the case because a lot of other times people do it in much more, less bad circumstances.
Swatting is when someone finds a streamer's address and fakes a police call, telling the police that this streamer is a serious danger, also that the police break into the streamer's house to arrest them. Probably the most famous example of this, however, is what happened to Ice Poseidon, the controversial streamer who seemed to be the swatting magnet. Now, he was already on Twitch's radar because of his unmoderated chats and the fact that his streams would often break Twitch's terms of service.
They would.
But because of his popularity and the revenue and publicity he created for Twitch, this negative attention was often ignored. He was never...
I do think that's probably true. Twitch generally was like, yeah, Ice is a little bit controversial, but he's popular, so we're going to let it go.
Banned. he was always just given a tiny little slap on the wrist. Although this all came to a head in 2017, when Ice was traveling to a convention by plane. He would broadcast all of the trip to the convention, as he did with most of his waking moments. However, Ice has always encouraged his viewers to swat him, and this time he wasn't doing this at his house. He was revealing the gate number as well as the airport he was flying from. This meant that—
I don't think that he ever encouraged them to do that. I find that to be unlikely. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's definitely a reach. It was a huge mistake for Ice to have done that. It was really stupid.
Viewers could easily know what plane he would be on, and so halfway through his flight, his plane was diverted and forced to land because one of his viewers had called in a bomb threat, telling the police that Ice planned to hijack the plane. So he was quickly escorted off.
I didn't think it was grounded. I thought that they came in before he took off. It was grounded? It was before they flew. Yeah, they never took off. Yeah, I remember this. Grounded means the same thing. Well, what I'm saying is, like, there was never a situation where the plane was in the air and they took the plane down as a concern of a bomb threat. It's misinformation. Yeah, it's crazy.
For questioning. But this was a crazy incident that hit the mainstream news and made Ice Poseidon infamous.
And that's
Twitch
why they
had no
banned
choice
him.
but to ban him from the platform for his toxicity and constant swatting incidents. However, Twitch's giant incentive for streamers to create controversy at all costs, and the fact that most streamers won't ever face criticism due to the mods—
I actually don't think Twitch wants streamers to create controversy. I think that Twitch wants streamers to quietly play PUBG or Fortnite with a smile and say, "Hi, chat. What do you guys think about my outfit? Do you guys think we should play duos or solos today?" I think that's what they want. They don't want any of this controversy because every single time the controversy happens, Twitch has a lot of, like, they have a lot of impending problems. Like, I think copyright is the biggest one. So Twitch probably has the viewpoint that the less people talk about us, the better.
Makes this sort of thing a very common occurrence on Twitch. I mean, Ice Poseidon, for example, would always put swatters on a pedestal,
so much different.
encouraging swatters for views, saying things like, quote, "What can you possibly do to create a challenge for these loser swatters?"
That's whenever he did that.
He did this because these streams would go viral. Clips of his streams would gain hundreds of thousands of views, allowing Ice Poseidon to make bank from people swatting him, thus encouraging swatters all across the platform to commit these harmful crimes, sending a message for swatters across the platform to keep wasting police time and putting the lives of creators at risk. But swatters aren't the only ones playing with people's personal data, because Twitch is also a criminally unsecure platform. Twitch employees have always warned about the miserable security and the very big potential for Twitch to be breached. But of course, this advice always fell on deaf ears. Twitch management—
Is that really true that they warned about that? I don't remember hearing that ever. Yeah, is that true? Like, I feel like, yeah, I don't remember that happening. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Like, I don't remember, but I don't remember at all.
has always been horrific even since the Justin TV days. But of course, this would inevitably lead to what happened in October 2021, when a massive 125GB data breach revealed truckloads of information about Twitch's partners and even their payouts from the platform.
That was a fuck up. Let's be honest, that was definitely a fuck up.
And whilst this was horrific for Twitch users, and being a needed light on how weak Twitch's management and security is, this breach did also reveal some kind of fascinating insights. It showed that some of the highest paid Twitch streamers, people like Hassan Piker, a famous internet commie, gained almost $1.5 million from Twitch every year. And this is just from Twitch revenue alone. All for him promoting socialism and wanting to eat the rich, all while making—
That's his right though, isn't it? So I don't know how, like, I find this to be so, like, I wonder how this person is able to reconcile the idea that Justin TV was meant for people to have a free space with no censorship. And now this person, Hassan, is being used as an example of Twitch being bad. And the implication is because they didn't censor him. So is Twitch either betraying these principles or are they doing them? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a bit much.
Millions from these people who have no connection in their real world lives, but that's a topic for a different video. But what's more important was that this leak was done by one single hacker, a lone agent who managed to copy the entire website without raising any alarms.
That was crazy. That shit happened. It was absolutely crazy. I think he means the hypocrisy. Oh, of like Hassan being a socialist and then having a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like those like low level like these are, in my opinion, I think this is like low IQ. It's like low IQ bait. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I can see that the person is saying one thing and doing another thing. Like everybody does that. Like it's not, yeah, massive hypocrite, to be honest. Yeah, I think everybody does that. You know, people believe in something, but if it's beneficial for them to do the opposite, they'll probably do it. This isn't some kind of like, you know, brilliant fucking I'm very intelligent situation. It's just common sense. People have evolved for millions of years to act in their own self-interest.
Failing the very unsteady foundations the Twitch business model was built on. But even with this in mind, Twitch will still rise. In fact, Twitch is set to grow exponentially in the coming years, with the company projected to grow 25% every single year. Ooh. Because Twitch only grows when the population becomes more lonely and isolated, with shocking data revealing that about 40% of Generation Z suffers from loneliness, which coincidentally is the same demographic that uses Twitch the most. And when you stop to actually realize that the top streamers make
Is that true? I feel like Twitch is mostly a millennial website. Like, I really don't know if this is accurate or not. Yeah, I feel like it's primarily a millennial website. It's the same for YouTube. Yeah, I think that all of these, like, again, like all of these criticisms and things like this, these are all for any website. I'll be right back. Let's watch the rest of this.
All of their money from donations, you know, from people who are desperate for any sense of attention or connection. It's then not really that hard to understand how...
Didn't Pokimane disable donations?
Twitch has made $2.3 billion just this year. And it also makes clear that the original creative free and authentic version of Justin TV is dead. That's why the original creator Justin now lives a life hidden away from the hell of global big tech, hidden from Twitch's change in direction, a direction of maximizing its profits from simps and loneliness rather than creativity, community, and ingenuity. So long as Generation Z lives their isolated, sedentary, and self-destructive lives, increasingly devoid of age-old sources of happiness like community, religion, national identity, and family, the more Twitch's toxicity will grow, resulting in Twitch going from a beacon of freedom and artistic passion to becoming a gigantic, glossy monument to insipid vacuity.
I think that getting all of this stuff wrong doesn't really matter. I do think that painting this person as like a Twitch moderator and making them look bad and misrepresenting things, I do think that's bad. But I think really the only part of this it's like, I would say, really, really, really problematic is this part right here.
Revenue for Twitch enjoy almost limitless protection. Because this is the real way that Twitch makes money.
Listen to this again.
And this gets sinister, not just for the fact that it erodes free speech on the internet, but also because of the way that Twitch is hiding sexual assault and harassment allegations against much of Twitch's biggest partners, all in the name of protecting profits. The worst effect—
That is crazy. Bro, that is like completely fucking out of pocket. Like, I really, really, really think that that's bad. Like, that is fucking Hassan hate. There is a huge difference between calling Hassan a hypocritical communist and implying that XQC is a sexual harasser and that Twitch is protecting him. There is a, like, fucking an ocean of difference between those two things, too. Holy shit. It's disappointing because the beginning of this video was pretty good. Explaining like the history of Twitch and everything like that. It was great. But I feel like this person clearly has an agenda to push with this video, and the facts of the stories are not important enough to take into consideration. A lot of the information about this, etc., is completely wrong. It's just, it's factually wrong. And I think this is honestly disgraceful. That somebody can put up a video like this and defame XQC specifically. Let me ask you a question. How many people that watch this, what percentage of the people that watch this will come to the conclusion that XQC is being protected by Twitch for sexual harassment? How many people will come to that conclusion? What percentage of people will come to that conclusion? Because I think easily it's over 50%. I think almost anybody will. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're showing a picture of them while you're talking about it. Yeah, it's crazy. Fight Club warning for men. Maybe this is a good video. I'd be curious to see what this is. I just find this to be incredibly unbecoming of a content creator, and I find it to be extremely reckless, completely wrong, and also just inaccurate in a lot of ways. Like, I'd love to talk to this guy sometime on my stream, and or not, right? And have a conversation about this, because I think that he brings up some relatively good points with social media on an abstract level, but whenever you get down to Twitch being a reason for that, I think it's not true.